Have you ever thought about chasing your dreams? I really think you should. Check this out. Fucking, I don't know if you can see that. Oh wait, that's today. Yeah, like March. Did fucking $33,000 with my coaching business. And even though that's cool now and it's amazing, what's even cooler is we helped Mo rip almost a $10,000 a month. Almost. So close. Right, we're almost there, and as soon as I get there, I gotta say congratulations on 10,000. Now it's time to do 20. But yeah, we actually have a client interview with Mo. Pretty much kind of just him sharing his experience so far. I mean, I think bro's only 6, 7, 8 weeks into this, so he's actually got a long while to go. And then at the end of the video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly what we did with his Instagram profile and everything, so you can maybe steal some of those changes and implement it into your business exactly. Kind of just get the general idea of like what we did for him, how we made that shift to bring him from like 2,000 to 9.3K, and it's pretty much the same exact shifts I made, to fucking go from I was about 5K 6 months ago to 33,000 in a month without paid ads, all organic, by the way. Now I'm extremely exhausted. I've been sleep deprived. That's a part of making this money. So I got to take this client call right now, actually. But let's get right into the video. All right, guys, I'm going to be breaking out how we took Mo, a 19-year-old with 15,000 Instagram followers, from around $2,000 a month to 9.3 in less than 2 months inside of the mentorship. Okay, so if you're stuck at a couple thousand with your fitness coaching business, this is going to help you scale up to about 10,000. And if you're just kind of stuck with like, I don't really know exactly what to post online, this is also going to help you out, because we're going to be breaking down his exact content posting schedule, the thought process that went behind it, and how that converted his viewers into actual paying clients. So this right here is Mo's Notion dashboard. All of my one-on-one clients get this Notion dashboard. Every single week when we have it on a one-on-one call, we are going over these 10 steps we have right here and then breaking it down specifically to each and every single individual. So me and Mo have only had about 3 calls so far. Not many, but bringing you over to his Instagram right here. So coming to the program, he had a little less than 15,000 followers. He's a little bit over that now. Again, it hasn't been a long time. But the first thing we did on that call, because he had the views, he had the following, but he was just struggling to convert those people, is we went over just bio optimization, honestly, kind of like getting the offer dialed in, right? He was still kind of confused on what his solution was, what his offer was, who to speak to. Right? He was confused on just where he was heading. So it's the first thing we went over. So I gave him a direction to head in. So we came with the offer of I help men conquer their inner bitch and get dialed. The keyword he was using in his bio, everyone using a keyword, like DM me a keyword to reach out for one-on-one coaching, was dialed. So I was like, what does that exactly mean to you? He's like, well, it's to like get people dialed in, get them in shape, get their routines, mindset in check, and etc. So I was like, all right, let's go off of that. So I can't remember what this is like before. It was really bad though. So we came up with that first tagline of I help men conquer their inner bitch and get dialed, right? It's an outcome-based mission statement, pretty much, offer, conquer your inner bitch and get dialed, right? But it also is tying in to pretty much everything to be talking about, which is getting dialed, okay? The keyword we kept the same, and then steal my daily dialed routine, going to a YouTube video. So we're driving people directly to long-form content. See, what he was doing before is he had this like coaching website where they can sign up, or I think even buy coaching or booking a call. Can't exactly remember, and just nobody was even using it at all. And so, like, in my opinion, the best way to run coaching is to use the Instagram to funnel traffic over to YouTube, so they start watching your long form. See, if people aren't watching your long form, and if you don't have any long form, then you're not going to have a lot of trust and nurture built with the person in your audience. See, the way he was able to massively increase his income in a short amount of time with a decent amount of followers is simply just really focusing on that relationship building with each and every single individual inside of his audience. One thing he actually told me the other day is like, there was this one guy who reached out for coaching a while ago and didn't go through, but then he reached back out because he saw this, right? I built a better relationship. He got more clarity on who I was. He built more trust with me. I think you also heard this story. I'll share this later, but there's one video we uploaded that absolutely ripped. And he heard that, so he reached back out for coaching, signed up. It was a 1.6K paid in full, and it was sick. So drove him directly to this YouTube video, which is literally just a day in the life. We just found it. We're still working on his video sales letter, but we just found that day in the life YouTube video, drove him to that. So let's went over call 1. really helped him understand his content and where he was going to go with it. And then call two, once we had that down, content started to flow. But then call two was setting up coaching highlights and then really going over the content once again. Okay, what I saw with him is he understood what he needed to do, but he was still just taking action too quick. It was like 2-3 posts each and every single day. And, quantity is important when you're starting out, but he already has a large enough following to make $10,000. So I was like, focus on the quality, right? I gave him this one video idea and he went off and made it. And it performed like shit, right? We use the ManyChat automation, which is supposed to like massively increase your engagement because people comment and they get sent like a free guide or a free video. And like I saw no one comment. I was like, what's going on? I watched the video. There's no editing really done to it, like no hooks, no text, no whatever. It was quite boring. It just wasn't good at all. And the hook even wasn't there. So I was like, bro, look, you have a good skill set. You know what you're talking about, but you need to take your time with each and every single video you are creating. Each and every single video should be a banger. And so we just raise the standard for the content. And what does that do? When you raise the standard for your content, it's going to raise the expectation of the people in your audience, right? So they see your coaching is more valuable as well. So I said also, like, look at your Instagram like an ecosystem, right? I always give the strategy. One viral-ish post a day, I'll explain what that means, and one nurturing post a day. Okay, I think that's like one of the best strategies to follow. So this viral post over here is kind of him just like flexing, pretty much just his physique, which does really well on his profile. That's what he blew up on Instagram for, is really just his physique. But then these nurturing posts right here are pieces of YouTube videos clipped up into edits, right? So these videos with the physique, they're a little bit more shallow. Give you an example of one right here. See if we can't find it. This one right here, this one blew up. It was like 1 million views, right? This is going to bring the audience in, but if you don't have the nurturing content, right, that's actually explaining who, what, why, and how. What I mean with that is, who is Mo? What does he do? Why does he do it? And how does he do it? Right? So Mo is the guy who's helping men help men conquer their inner bitch by getting dialed. Right? That's what, who, what is getting dialed. Right? Why? And so we started to explain that in the nurturing content inside of these videos right here, is like, what does getting dialed actually mean? It's the daily routine, but also why do you get dialed? And he talked about some heartbreak he went through in one of these videos. Here we go. Yeah. Talking about ex-girlfriend cheated on me, hooked up with 3 guys in like 1 week or something like that. And that was why. So now people know the story. We brought a big audience in. He already had the audience as well. They start watching that nurturing content, getting to understand who he is, what does he do, why does he do it, and how does he do it. And what that is creating is clarity and also awareness actually around his coaching, right? If you have a decent following and people just aren't reaching out, it's because there isn't enough awareness around who you are and what do you sell. And so that's what we went over right there. Adding more layers. And then call three, we started working on that video sales letter, which we're making some adjustments to at the moment, but given the exact strategy he needs to follow for it. And as you can see over here, these are our 10 steps to 10K. So we got the blueprint call, which is the first call we went over, reviewing everything, creating the blueprint, optimizing the IG profile, giving his next steps, ICP development. So that was kind of going over call 2. It wasn't really written down there, but it's what we went over. Personal branding and content strategy, same thing we went over. And then we moved on to pretty much conversion mechanism right away, because he already had people in his audience. He already had a pretty good offer. So we just jumped ahead to conversion mechanism, which is crafting that video sales letter. We're getting that into works right now, but he's already ripping even without the video sales letter. So he's really only 3 calls in, and he's absolutely ripping. But again, adjustments we made to content. If we come back before he joined, which would have been like way back here. Let's see. He's uploading a lot. It was a bunch of random videos, right? It was a whole bunch of just random stuff. And so when people are seeing your content, it's just random stuff, and it isn't repetitive enough. And yes, it needs to be repetitive so people actually understand. Just because you say it once doesn't mean people are going to understand. You need to say it 10 fucking times for people to finally get it to click on who you are, what do you do, why do you do it, and how do you do it. So this was all over the place. So once we dialed in everything, as you can see, the content's starting to come together. A lot more nurturing content right here. And then he's actually making client transformation breakdowns as well. So pretty much the content pillars we started to focus more on. Come over right here to personal branding and content strategy. we started to focus more on connection content, which was taking those YouTube videos, clipping them up, or even just making, talking head videos. So that would have been that one story about his breakup, about his heartbreak. Social proof content, which is almost kind of like demonstration content as well. It's both with the coaching, showing the proof that you can get transformations, but then demonstrating how you get them through videos. Let's see, just like this right here. As you can see, he's breaking down his client, right? He already had kind of the viral content. Didn't really focus too much on lifestyle content or authority content really at the moment, but just through focusing on those 3 content pillars, it attracted a lot more people in. Now, and this is the very most crucial aspect, this is the last thing I'm going to leave you off with, is really focusing on the story flows as well, right? So the stories were already there, but there were some fine adjustments we make. If, for example, he wasn't putting these hooks on the screen just like this, it was just the talking head videos. Most of the time when people click on your story, or even when they come on social media, their sound isn't actually on, right? They're like out in public or something, their sound isn't on. So you need to have that hook on the screen so it hooks people in to actually want to turn up their sound and listen to it and listen to what you're saying, right? Non-negotiables, expansion is coming. Here's the truth, found the solution, client transformation. So a lot more talking head, talking specifically, and this is the outline I gave them. Talk specifically to the people in your audience's pain points. Don't just like talk about random things. Talk specifically to the people who are commenting or reaching out, and also specifically to the people who have already signed up for your coaching, right? Talk to those pain points. Also provide a story around yourself around it, so you're not talking to them, you're talking with them, and then providing solutions to that. It can be a mindset shift, it can be motivation, it can be click this YouTube video, it can be whatever. But talking to pain points, sharing a personal story, so connection content, and then providing a solution to it gets people engaged inside of the stories, and also gets people to reach out. They're like, oh, they hear the story and they're like, yeah, I went through something similar, or, I hear you about that. So really focusing on talking with the audience inside of the stories versus just talking to the audience. Because something he was doing before, which I had to tell him about, is like, you got to stop coming off with all this authority. Like here and there, yeah, you want to have authority, but a lot of it was just like talking to people when you should be talking with people. So that connection content of this is my story is pretty much just calling out your audience's pain points without calling them out. By sharing your own pain, you are calling your audience's pain points out, but you're also making them feel heard. So it's literally so powerful. So yeah, most just getting started. We got a long ways to go, but those are the simple adjustments we made so far that scaled them up to 9.3 in a month. So hope you enjoyed. Okay, tell me how your life business has changed since joining the mentorship, G.
So my first month, I ripped a 9.3K month, which obviously that's more than my parents make a month. So I was like, wow, like this is life changing. I'm actually able to charge high ticket now, ripping $1,000 paid in fulls, clear understanding on what content I need to be posting. Just more messaging on what my brand offers instead of just these bullshit, influencer posts. The weekly one-on-one calls too are super, super valuable. I'm actually like receiving a lot of information. It's kind of like a reset too, where it's like, okay, I was doing good throughout the week. Either I might get a little bit too confident and think I know everything. And then it's kind of like humbling on the calls, like, okay, I still need to work on this, and just more clarity on just life and just the business and brand direction.
Fuck yeah, dude. Okay. I love that. So kind of get a little background about where you were before joining up. How was life? How was business going? How was social media? Just where were you at?
So before, I joined Ryan's mentorship, it was more just 2K months. It was really just 2K months. I was struggling. I didn't really know what content to post. Super low quality leads because of the content I was posting. Posting flexing videos not really going to get you, high quality leads that are actually going to pay you high for high ticket. And just a loss in direction on what I was really offering. I knew I could be offering more instead of just a meal plan and training plan. I was just completely lost.
Okay, what exactly, what do you feel like are the big struggles we helped you overcome?
So the big struggles, I mean, honestly, the investment into the mentorship too was scary, but it was the pressure that I needed to make all of this work. Honestly, for me, paying for something that makes me want to work obviously a lot harder. And I think investing into yourself is definitely, the number one thing in life. How are you going to progress if you don't invest into yourself? And you're not. And I was just lost with my content and business, and really what was stopping me from, that's what was stopping me from joining the mentorship for so long. It was my mind. I was procrastinating. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll just do my own research. I'll be fine. Listen, you can look at all the tips and tricks you want on the internet, but there's so many, sources out there that some are not quality, some are quality, but you just don't know how to put it together. And that's what, Ryan helped me with. I was just spending so much time, bro, on just content stories, hopping on calls, and just getting nothing out of it. But once I started following the 10 steps to 10K, it gave me, an actual framework, an actual structure to follow, help me attract the right people and get the right people into my coaching.
Mm-hmm. You had the case of being consistent with lacking results. Is where a lot of people are. You know that in fitness coaching. I know that.
100%.
Well, I know that running my own business, like you can be consistent at your results. It's because you don't know, you're not following an exact fucking framework. So, yeah, I'm really glad that
Exactly.
worked out. And what would you say to people like thinking about getting into online fitness coaching? I know there's a whole bunch of business models out there, but like, why did you specifically get into online fitness coaching, and why would you tell other people to get into it as well, or would you?
Here's the thing, man. We're on this earth, honestly, not to be slaves to society. Fitness coaching and owning your own business while also helping people, you can, you have freedom. You have a ton of freedom. And obviously, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of other businesses where you might not specifically be helping that specific person. You might be making a product that's helping that. But I'm super personal with people, and I've always had a heart for people. I've always been good at talking to people, and I want to see better in people. That's why I started my fitness journey, because I wanted to see better in myself. And now that I've gained a lot of experience, I want to help other people see the best version of themselves and dial in.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty nice having your passion align with the way you make money as well, right?
Exactly, dude. I mean, making money while doing the thing that you love is why God put me on this earth. Why God should put everyone on this earth. Not to do. I would rather, make 10K a month doing the things that I love than, make, I guess, 10K a month doing things that I don't love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right on. It's like if you can get in shape, you should be able to make money as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're able to get into shape, you just got into shape for no reason. You might as well market it and make money off of it.
Yeah, I got to conquer both. Do you know how fast you made back the investment on the mentorship? I know it was like quite pricey, but you did rip 9.3K in a month, and I think that was the month like after joining, a couple weeks after. Yeah, like how fast did you make it back?
I mean, man, within the first 6 weeks, I made more with online coaching than I've spent on the mentorship in general. So I made the investment back super fast.
Right, because you came in doing like 2K months. We kind of just looked at what you were doing, and then just like basically condensed it down into weeks.
Exactly,
That's all it was. Condensed down what you
100%.
wanted per month down to the weeks, and boom, 9.3. So sick.
Yes, sir.
And now everything here's from fucking profit, which is amazing. Okay, so another question I want to ask you: why'd you join this mentorship out of everyone else's? Because there's a lot fucking out there. You see everybody, you see people with Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, etc. Why exactly come to me?
So first, because I saw that you were super, super like personal with your clientele, you actually were like really focused on one-on-one. You really want to help them instead of, putting me into a group call with 50 other people and they're all, not on the same level. So you're super personable. And I just saw your client success as well. I mean, I've seen you help so many online fitness coaches, rip 10K months, rip 15K months. They're doing really good. So I was like, all right, why wouldn't I join this guy's program?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I mean, yeah, you took a big leap of faith, only being what 19 years old, right?
Yes, sir. 19 years old, making a big investment. That's not a lot of 19-year-olds will do that, but I knew it was for my best interest and to actually invest in myself. And hey, if I want to build a successful, online fitness coaching business, I got to invest in myself first.
Right. It's like the way you got into shape is you bought a coach, right?
Exactly.
And the way you
Exactly.
make money is you want to a mentorship.
Exactly.
You need some education, or else you're just taking action without education.
100%. It's the domino effect, bro. Domino
Yeah,
effect.
yeah, very intelligent of you. Well, good shit, Mo. Awesome.
Yes, sir,
Well,
brother.
I'm proud of you, dude. Now we're time to rip fucking 20, 30, as Ashton Hall would say.
Yes, sir.
Did 10,000. Now it's time for 20.
It's time for 20, brother. Let's run it. Let's rip it.
Hell yeah. All right. Appreciate
All
your time.
gas, no brakes. Of course, brother.